What's up, y'all? So I want to ask you a question today. Have you ever, during your hiring process as a candidate, have you ever turned down, some very, let's say, lucrative offer? What I mean by that is like the domain which you would like to work with or in, like which had that domain, which had like the salary, let's say, probably like X2 or like double your current one, and like an international company, all that nonsense, and so on and so forth, and which also was, let's say, which also was a match for your technical stack. So, like most recently, I've had one interview with the representative of such company. The domain is blockchain and crypto, but mostly like blockchain and tokenization. Well, it all revolves around that domain. So, like, the client is from the States, but that guy who interviewed me, I guess he's British, judging by his accent. And, this is gonna be like a short video, I assure you, because like there is only one question I wanted to ask of you at the end. So yeah, the guy was British, but it doesn't matter at this time, really, because like throughout all my recent interviews that I've had like, let's say if you take like 20 recent interviews, let's say that 18 of those went pretty well. I mean, even if I wasn't a fit or they were not a fit to me, like it goes both ways. It still was, it still went good. Well, at least acceptable to me. So, we were like diplomatic towards like each other, kept some, formalities, which is pretty important in these processes. But there is one thing that I think I almost never talk about it on this channel, but I'm gonna touch this anyway. It's like, it's something that we cannot measure by any technology, anything. It's not a KPI. It cannot be written on paper. It's just a gut feeling. Some people call it intuition, I guess. And this, I guess, was one of those cases where it played out. So, like, the recruiter contacted me and set up the interview with that person, with that manager. Straight up when I joined, I felt that something was off. I mean, I think you understand what I'm talking about. Like, it's some sort of unnerving feeling, like in your stomach and in the bowel a little bit. Sort of, speaking a bit of like from the esoteric point of view, it's like root chakra and sacral chakra. So this unsettling feeling that something's not right. That I wish I wasn't here, right? So this is something that spoke to me from, my stomach area, which rarely happens. But I try to listen to it. I try to, take that into consideration. And yeah, this was one of those things, one of those episodes. Straight from the start, this person kind of, started bombarding me like with the questions, like name the company you're currently working on, tell me about yourself, like pretty standard questions. But it was not like the thing in those questions. It was about like how he kind of elaborated with this conversation. So I answer like I always do. And you can look up my CV, you can look up everything on this YouTube channel. I'm not like hiding anything or whatsoever. But so the first thing, like he asked, like, have you ever worked with this domain before? And I haven't. And this is a domain where I would like to work in. By being a part of the development of some crypto wallet or like a DEX, like decentralized exchange, right? So something like that. No, because I'm, as a user, that's one thing, but as a tester, I guess it goes a little bit deeper, or maybe even way deeper. So I responded like in a usual manner, and as I have been answering, I've seen it on his face, like that, he's not amused. He was like constantly rubbing his head, and like he was just, it's almost as if either something happened to him, like prior to our conversation, or that he just didn't like me straight up. But those formalities that we have in this, in this sort of a little bit like, should I say, like corporate stuff, or it's not in the way like corporate, but employment and hiring, which people tend to keep to those formalities, me included, even if that's hard to me, or like hard for me to do so, because I'm looking for a match, which is sort of like energetical stuff. So sort of looking for a good team, which you can be a part of. You can only contribute if you work with the contributors, just like yourself. Then he asked like, what's your experience in crypto? I started like talking about it. Like he asked like other more detailed questions for regarding my experience in crypto as a user. So I started like elaborating on that more, and as I was answering, like I've mentioned some specifics that I do or that I did, and he was like that. There was that situation right after that which completely turned me off and like infuriated me, and all that other time, like which was about like half an hour that we've talked. After that, I wasn't really like paying attention to what he was saying just before, after that shit, because like it really pissed me off. So you're like asking a person what he or she does, and the person's answering, and he's like making this stupid Marvel style completely idiotic joke, which goes like, oh, haha, you could have told me so we can end this interview straight away, haha. And this little, smirk. I know where you're going to with this, stupid ass smirks. You cannot fool me anymore. Nobody can fool me anymore. I read you all like an open book. And sometimes I think it's more of a curse than a blessing. I wish I was. I wish I weren't. Maybe I would, maybe I've already landed some, six-figure job in Microsoft or whatever. But I cannot just, work with bots. With bots or, passive-aggressive people who like passive-aggressive towards me, or who, let's say, trying to implement subtle bullying during the hiring process or at any other process. And this is the first interview, and this is the first person, like he's not in HR, he's like the manager of some sort. So he's like responsible for some part of the SDLC process. And this is the case where, if I would have landed that job, if I would have gone further, I would have to work with this kind of person, day to day, every single day, 5 days a week. And that is a no-go for me, complete no-go. With a person who is like harsh, who executes, all this subtle aggressiveness, bullishness, and all that ish. So this is not for me. But everything else was great. Like the salary is like double compared to the one that I've had before, and other stuff as well. Some perks, the domain, of course. So everything else was pretty good. But where I'm going with this. So as we proceed with that interview, there were a couple other like situations where he behaved like that. I'm answering as I always do. And as I've said, you can find more info about me and like my experience on this channel in different vids. It's just some things that I explore when I have the time, or when I have the willpower to do so. So yeah, this is kind of how it happened. And when the interview was finished, I was I was feeling, or like I felt that I have been into some sort of like a physical fight. I cannot describe it in any sort of words, but like the overall feeling of that was that why haven't I left right after that first smirk, stupid situation, stupid joke or whatsoever, or that little sarcastic stuff. You can shove that sarcasm up your ass. I'm gonna be straight, and I'm gonna be straight with you. Nothing to add here, but I'm not leading to that. So where I'm going with this, sometimes it's not that much about the money, it's not that much about the perks, or even like the favorite domain where you would like to work at. It's just about the people, because every company consists of a collective. So there's like a collective in every organization, right? In every firm, in every like entrepreneurship, or like whatever. And if that is how you present yourself, if that is like the initial conversation, if the initial conversation gives you this feeling where you like completely, somebody kind of tries to, overthrow you or put you down, with this passive-aggressive subtleness. How do you call that? A red flag, right? I'm gonna be a little bit modern here. So that's like an instant, a huge effing red flag. This size, I don't know. So yeah, this is like what I felt, and I think, as I think about it, but you know what? The most interesting part is not that. So I thought that he sort of tried to brutalize me mentally, and then this interview was finished. And I thought it was like all over, because I talked to the recruiter from the Ukrainian side, like the agency, I mean like the middleman, and she said that this guy is just like that, he may wake up and stand up on the wrong foot one day, and then everybody else is is getting destroyed by him because of that. We just proved my point. But you know what's the most interesting thing is that, you know, a few days later she texts me and she says that like he requests another round, another interview with you, and she sort of says that, you know, it's unexpected to her and probably to me, because I was like completely sure that this thing was over. But you know, call me an idiot, I don't know, like call me whatever. Call me impulsive, I don't care, but I really refused that. She insisted that I do, but you know, I found this guy's email and just texted him like directly that I felt this and this, and I don't want this to continue. Sorry, bye-bye. But not even sorry, because I'm not sorry. He should be sorry for his miserable behavior towards me. But that's another story. Okay, so like that's how it went down. He actually answered, and you know what's crazy? The most crazy part is, he said like, oh, this was not my intention at all. Are you trying to lie to? You stupid ass hypocrite. People like that are just, you know, hypocrites. This was not my intention. If that was not your intention, I wouldn't have felt this feeling of unease at the first place. But that was exactly your intention, man. And like, I'm saying this to every single one who's gonna ever watch this video. If you ever feel this unsettling feeling in your gut or in your stomach or in your chest when you're talking to a person on an interview or whatever, and you like sort of try to figure out like whether it's gonna work out or not, I'm telling you, it's not gonna work out. Your spirit or your gut knows things before they manifest in the physical world, before they actually happen. So that's how it goes. It's the only way it can be. And if I wouldn't have listened to myself, I think I would have landed the job, but it would have been fucking mental hell for me. So this is I don't know, it's not an advice, but probably like more like a recommendation for other folks out there who's gonna be watching this video at any given time. And yeah, listen to yourself. You know, listen, like it really is that simple. Listen to your gut. The gut never lies. Gut feeling is like the only truth you'll ever receive. There is no external validation you need from nobody. From nobody. Even if it's like the president of the goddamn Milky Way galaxy, I don't care. You don't need it. It's like external. It doesn't exist. It's a matrix. I'm a part of your matrix right now. If you're watching me, you're a part of mine, because I'm speaking to you and telling you about it. But it's probably the only thing that you know, I can possibly recommend. I'm not pushing any sort of advice right here. You may do what you like, you may succumb, you may submit if you want to, but you know, trust me, either way, you'll get mentally damaged in these sort of workplaces, even if they are remote. Believe me, energy is felt everywhere. So what I was always looking for is just an energetic match. As a business, we can grow, we can earn more money, we can double, triple, quadruple our salaries in the future. But that's like not the worst case scenario. But as a team, if we are not connected straight away, then we are not connecting at all. And it's best for us to, you know, part ways from the beginning, and not, you know, to push the dead body, trying to push the dead horse, so to speak, or trying to ride the dead horse. Yeah, I guess I've said it all in this video. So the only question I wanted to ask you is, have you ever been in, you know, these sort of situations where you have felt something was off? And how did you react? Maybe you've landed that job, maybe you went full in, like all in, and then you regretted it in the future. Or maybe you've just like me, you know, you just thrown it in your trash can like from the very like first convo. So I would like to hear from you in the comment section. I'd be pretty happy to read your stories. Yeah, that's all I want to say in this video. Stay true to yourself and, you know, stay safe. Peace.